Hello and happy gaming, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and yesterday's run was a shit show. Let's not even pretend like it wasn't. But I think with just a few little changes, we can take that and turn it into something better. So, for those of you who are unsure, this is still the Bowser themed run. But I made some changes. Instead of Earthen Knuckles, we're now using Bouncing Blaze to represent Bowser's fireballs. So far so good? Alright. Now, we still have a more or less melee-focused run, but now instead of Flame Breath, we're using Blazing Lariat. And how do I justify Bowser using Blazing Lariat? Two reasons. One, he's got firebars all over his castle. To me, that seems like he's at least got the knowledge necessary to use a Whip of Flame. Second reason, when you play Super Mario Maker, and yes, I am kind of stretching a little bit, but it still works. On I believe both the Super Nintendo and New Super Mario Bros. U fashions, he does this move where he lowers his head and creates a wave of fireballs. And in my mind, that still counts. Now, Seismic Entry is not only a good combo for the Blazing Lariat, but it also goes right along with Bowser's Aerial Slam, or the Hip Drop for some characters like Yoshi, or as Bowser calls it, the Bowser Bomb. So there we go. And then yesterday I had said that an Ignition Rush was the only dash that lets you just do contact damage with enemies. I was wrong. It turns out Chaotic Echoes has a little something going for it that I didn't know. And yes, it creates shadows, whatever, it's all well and good. Here's what I didn't know. Regardless of whether your spell is up or not, it creates a barrier in front of you that you can just smash into people with. And look at that, it even charges up your signature. Look at that. And it does so fairly well. So I think I might change my mind on Chaotic Echoes depending on how it works here. But just the idea that Chaotic Echoes, and it even says so here, summon an offensive barrier around you as you dash. This lets you do a friggin' shoulder rush into business. Look at that. As I said, that's whether the actual echoes are ready to go or not. So that spell might just be one of my new go-tos. Just saying, with one little sentence, it went from being meh to being, oh my god, that thing is amazing. Where are you gonna let me start? Sky Palace. That's a little too easy. I get the feeling there's a trap implied there, so let's just go ahead and try it like this. Oh, it's gonna be the Sky Palace anyway, okay. So I'm still under the same rules as yesterday. I'm still only allowing myself to take things that can be justified by something Bowser would use. But I now have a much more balanced run. I've charged my controller, so hopefully any issues with my controller will be taken care of. And we'll just see how things work out. Look at that. Look, oh my goodness. Chaotic Echoes, why didn't you tell me you could do that? I did, you didn't read. Well, you know what? That just makes me an idiot, so paint me purple and call me Barney if this ain't one of the better dash attacks out there. I wasn't aware it could do that. I feel silly for not having read the full description. I just thought it only did the one thing, but no, Chaotic Echoes actually has a lot going for it. Oh my, I can just plow through people! I can just plow through them! I am almost fairly certain I could clear an entire run with just Chaotic Echoes. I'm not going to try that because I'm currently a little bit low on self-esteem, but That's amazing! Oh my goodness. So, in trying to find a way to balance the Big Bad Bowser Bruiser run, I found something really cool that I can apply to a lot of runs. And because that's actually just a straight-up attack in and of itself, I can use it to cancel out the Wind Knight's evasion shield. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Ow. And it's a good way for me to aggressively close distance on these guys. It's like having a whole nother basic. Okay, so that is special. Now, I admit I'm kind of overusing it, and that's gonna get me into trouble. But at this point, I'm figuring, now that I know about this, I kind of want to practice with it. But you see, that's what you get for being stubborn, is sometimes you figure something out that just completely alters your world. So, again, this is a second crack at the Bowser run. We're using the blue rope for two reasons. One, it's probably one of the more reliable, just big bruiser damage ups out there. But two, and more importantly, it can be likened to... It can be likened to Fake Bowser, otherwise known as Bruce. And no, that's not an official name, as I said yesterday. That's something that speedrunners came up with for him. But I'm willing to go along with it. It's a fine enough name. Taking Jewelry Box. I'm sorry, Sparking Sprite, but another time, honey. Another time. I gotta walk all the way back because I didn't activate the portals there. Hey, I'm so smart! Well, I've already said that yesterday's run was a shit show, and I stand by that. I made a lot of really bad mistakes, my controller was giving me hell, and, you know, just one of those two things in and of itself is enough to cause problems, but both of them acting together on top of a run that I was uncomfortable with, yeah, it just made everything worse. Today, I think we're going to be doing a lot better. Oh, it's so good. And the Jewelry Box will help me stay topped up on HP, because this is still a pretty close range run, and we can still get bulldozed if we're not being careful. But now we're finding things that are much more suited for what we're doing. Inferno Beam, I justify that the same way as I justify Blazing Lariat, don't at me. God, it's so good. Just the idea that it's a super aggressive dash just makes it that much more useful. Hip drop! Ha You won't beat me this time. That's right, Bowser's back and better than ever. Look at that, I've got range to work with now. This is a much easier to work with run. That's right. I can do it all with just my dash. Oh my god, Chaotic Echoes, where were you when I needed you? Oh, it's so good. I mean, except when I do that, but you know what? I'm willing to accept that just for having a better run to work with. See, look at that. You see how fucking cool that is? Out of here. God, and it does good damage, too. I mean, for what it is. There we go. Alright, I feel much more in control now. This is a much different run than yesterday. I don't have a melee basic. That's This actually makes some sense. It kind of simulates Bowser just being a big tough guy who just gets bigger and tougher the more he gets beat up. I thought that was a Saiyan trait. I mean, are you telling me that Bowser can't be Saiyan? Can't be a Saiyan? Actually, that's kind of funny. Just the visual image of Bowser going Super Saiyan is just... It's enough to give me the biggest giggles of the day. Super Saiyan Bowser. I want someone to do artwork of that now. I want to see Super Saiyan Bowser. Darkseid, you're ridiculous. No much more ridiculous than anything else I've done. Boing. Aha! Oh, look at that! Bowser learned how to jump! Uh-oh! Okay, guess I didn't need that, but you know what? I don't care. Bowser learned how to jump! There we go. Oh, I'm dumb. Fortunately, the Stygian Turtle Shell actually worked today. I don't know what was up with it yesterday, but it just wasn't doing anything. Maybe I was just getting beat up so much that the shell was going, okay, I can't block all of this damage for an idiot. Oh, that was stupid. Oh, whoops. There we go. Now what I really need is some damage ups. Can't justify Bubble Slaps as much as I want to take it. Bowser is Not a creature predisposed to using water. There's any number of things I can justify, but unfortunately that's not one of them. Okay, so that back and forth dash attack with Chaotic Echoes takes some proper timing to get right, and you can be smacked out of it without that proper timing. With the proper timing, though, you can just endlessly go back and forth just slapping people around with your mighty shoulder rush of justice. Or in Bowser's case, just Mighty Shoulder Rush. Doesn't need to be for justice's sake. This is Bowser we're talking about. The only justice he cares about is justice for him and, admittedly, his family. I mean, that's a side of Bowser none of us thought we'd see. Bowser is a family man. Oh my god, Chaotic Echoes is a good way to fake those guys out and make them use their shield. Then you can just dash immediately away from it. This is so cool. Oh my goodness. From having an incredibly one-sided run against me yesterday, to having an incredibly one-sided run in my favor today. Oh my god, this is going to be so great. Now, don't take that the wrong way. I enjoy a good challenge, but yesterday wasn't a good challenge. Yesterday was a trouncing. Against enemies with a slower attack pattern, you don't even really need the proper timing. Just go back and forth at whatever pace you can. Against archers and lancers, you'll just smoke them. Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. And to be fair, yeah, the controller is still giving me a few issues, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was yesterday, making me think that maybe after every few uses I should just charge it up just to be sure. We will definitely power up both of these attacks. We now have a much more powerful and ranging Inferno Beam, and Seismic Entry will now be followed up by some Shockwaves. So it's like Bowser throwing a temper tantrum. And don't tell me that he never did that, because that's exactly what Bowser was all about in Yoshi's Island. I'm doing that mostly just to give you an example of how it works. Look at that, with one Arcana I can clear an entire room of archers. And yes, in this case, entire is essentially 2 archers, but I mean, that was a lot better than I could do yesterday. Now, about Bowser as a character, I had already mentioned earlier that, you know, unbeknownst to us, Bowser would kind of show his colors as a family man. And that seemed really odd at first, but I mean, the precedent was set as far back as Super Mario Bros. 3. When it was essentially stated that, yeah, for better or worse, the Koopa kids weren't actually Bowser's kids. They were essentially adoptees. But he's still trying to give them the best life that he can. I don't know what part of that translates into kidnap Princess Peach every 10 seconds, but okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Seismic Entry. We're gonna do that. Alright, this is actually difficult right now. Alright, I just might not be capable of doing enough damage in one shot to get this to happen. Either that or I'm doing the combo wrong. Almost. I'm just being stubborn at this point. I just want everyone to understand that. It's not that I need this, I'm just being stubborn. Alright, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this to work. Oh well. So we move on. Oh, hello. Sidewinder's badge. I am not against that at all, but I need the money for it first. There we go. Alright, so Sidewinder's badge will help, but... oh, that's going a little too far. I don't really want to take double damage. But... it does make those fireballs that much more dangerous. Alright, I'm out of Fruit Punch, so let's just keep moving. Then in later games, it was shown that Bowser's primary child, who he's named after himself, go figure. There's nothing here that's really Bowser-like, so we'll move on. But that boy is spoiled. That boy gets everything he wants, including his own clown car. And to the point where Bowser convinces him that Peach is his mother? And of course, the most interesting part of that scene is that Peach doesn't immediately deny it. Bowser has the one to be like, you know she's not your mom, right? And he's like, yeah, I figured it out. By the way, spoilers for Super Mario Sunshine for those who aren't aware, but I mean, how old is that game now? If you're not aware of that scene, then I don't know what to tell you. Just don't complain about it if it's been this long and you still don't know about that scene. So to me, it wasn't necessarily Bowser making a claim that, hey, I fucked Peach, which, I mean, the joke is that all it really takes to do that is, a little bit of patience, but owie. Beautiful. This is a much better run. But again, what was interesting wasn't necessarily, Peach not necessarily denying it. What was interesting is that it was Bowser trying to attempt. God, if only Bowser isn't known for poison, so that's not really anything useful. But Bowser isn't a stranger to magic, so Mirror Shield isn't that far off. But yeah, he's just trying. It seems like the idea there is that he's just trying to provide a semblance of family for his son. Make me wonder which Koopa or Dragon or whatever he banged in order to get Bowser Jr. And honestly, the idea of it being Princess Peach still isn't off the table. And we haven't been given any other explanation, so at the moment... Alright, get out of here. I'm starting to look much more like a big tanky bruiser. Though I'm still a little upset that I haven't found a single damage up yet. Or have I? No, I haven't found a single damage up yet, save for Sidewinder's badge. That's not really a full-on damage up, that's just... Your basic is better. Congratulations. There we go. Looking so whimsical Explodio. Alright, well, I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with that, but there it is. I don't even need that. Look at that. I don't even need it. Don't even care. Don't even care. Ow. Hey, was pretty sure I got out of the way of that, but I mean... There we go. Okay, took a little bit more damage there than I wanted to because I was being reckless, but even the idea that I have the room to be reckless is enough to say that this run is definitely better. So, I'm not willing to write off yesterday's run because yesterday's run is not only an example of what happens when you have no synergies in your run, but it's also a good example of what happens when you just don't have anything going for you. Like, it's a good example of why power isn't always the right answer over speed and control. It's a good example of what can happen when you're just not focused on your own survival and all you have going for you is that you're strong. And yeah, you'll do damage. Sure. The enemies might not even last very long, but the ones that can get around you will do way more damage than you can handle. So, yesterday's run is a fine example of it pays to be focusing on control, not necessarily on power. Yesterday's run was all about trying to win with sheer power, and you saw how that worked. Today, we're taking things back with a little bit of control. Yes, I will take Exploding Fireball, thank you. And yesterday's run was such a shit show that even having Exploding Fireball didn't save it. Now we've got a few ranged options, some control options. We've got another contender for best dash in the game, which all it took was a little bit of reading and experimentation to realize, oh my god, Chaotic Echoes is actually really good. You think you can do in the mighty Bowser with fire? I swim in lava for fun. Just doesn't explain why sometimes lava kills me. Nice. I don't know how that worked, but oh well. I like the idea of Yuffie's shawl to improve my armor, but I am going to wait a second. Because I would also like to just get a Garbage Arcana to give to Dr. Song. No, Bowser can't use Snowflake Chakrams. I've never seen Bowser use ice. And there are some weird things I've seen Bowser use, like, just off the top of my head, a Katsu. Yeah, that. Healthcare card. What does that do? Discounted potions. Alright. I'll probably be purchasing one of those. Thank you, Doctor. Alright, there's still a little bit more floor to search, so we will do that. Look, the difference that just rebalancing the run made is such that ow. Fucking rogues. Alright, well, that is the rest of the floor. So, cool, on to the boss. But yeah, the difference it made just to rebalance the run is such that even without any kind of like offensive sorry, I got sidetracked, but even without any sort of aggressive relics, I'm still doing just fine. Actually, I kinda don't need to buy a potion. Oh well. I mean, that would have been useful in the other run. In this run, it's almost more of a novelty. God, I'm having so much fun with that. I sometimes even forget that I have a basic. There we go. And it charges my signature! Oh my goodness! Don't think it's that easy to stop me this time. So, I'm not afraid to say that when I was a kid, even in the like spin-off games where yeah, you could play as Bowser, I would choose not to do so because I was so against the idea of playing as the bad guy for God knows whatever reason, because I love doing it now. And tier list be damned, one of my favorite characters in Smash is King Dedede. And yeah, I know he's less of a villain and more of like a misunderstood hero, but I mean, you constantly have to fight him. It puts him in villain territory. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was completely against the idea of playing as Bowser because I was reading too much into what that said about you as a person if you played the bad guys. And I'm not afraid to say now that, yeah, I was a bit of a dipshit. But looking back on it now I get upset. It's like you can't play Bowser in a game. And I mean, what good is a Mario RPG if we're not exploring Bowser's characteristics and either celebrating him or making fun of him? And that's one of the things I like best about Super Mario RPG, and I know it's an unpopular game, but it's one of the things I like best about Super Paper Mario, which I think a lot of people underrate because what, it's not the 1,000-year door? Come on. Now there's reasons to dislike Sticker Star. There's reasons to dislike Color Splash. There's reasons to dislike the Origami King. But just because Super Paper Mario wanted to kind of combine platforming elements with the RPG elements, I don't think it turned out all that bad. There were elements that didn't turn out great, but that doesn't mean the game as a whole is awful. And besides, you got to play as Bowser with platforming elements. It was actually pretty special. There was something very interesting about Super Paper Mario's story. It was creepy, it was dark, it was at times surreal, and they did put a lot of attention to detail into a lot of Super Paper Mario's aspects. So to write it off just because it isn't the 1,000-year door, I mean, that's kind of the same. Do I have any cursed relics? No. I am going to buy the Infinity Marble, though. I mean, that's kind of the same reason why everyone says if it isn't Melee, it's not a good Smash game. And that leaves me thinking, really? Because every Smash game brought something to the table, and I personally think that Ultimate is probably one of the best, most balanced Smash games out there. Smashed. Okay, I'm gonna forget that I said that, but it's one of the most balanced and interesting Smash games out there. And with as many characters as are in the game, it's surprising that it's as balanced as it is. Now, that having been said, it's obviously not perfect. The only thing kind of Bowser-like here is Inferno Cannon, and even then, that's not really Bowser. Bowser is more of just the smash it yourself. He's not known for magic-infused strikes, he's known for just, I have muscles and screw that. Alright, now let's go buy a potion, just in case. And I have enough to afford Dice of the Nemesis, so I'll pick it up, but not gonna lie, I'm not sure I'm gonna get much out of it without anything to boost my critical rate. Which, by the way, I had posed the question earlier of if I should buy Origami King or not. After seeing a few reviews and seeing how they butchered the combat system, I'm thinking probably not. And yes, that is one of the most common complaints about Origami King. And again, okay. I guess Zeal is just invincible now. Okay, the game is absolutely not allowing me to dodge any of her attacks, seemingly. And unfortunately, because my run is so fire-based and I haven't found any damage ups, I unfortunately just have to try to tough this one out. Even with the game basically telling me, no, you don't get to dodge. By the way, do not take this seriously. I'm aware of some of the mistakes I made during that fight. Okay, now the game is just screwing with me. Well, I do wonder if controller shenanigans are in part to do with why I was having such a hard time getting around her attacks. It's not like I didn't know how to dodge them. Well, starting to feel those controller issues coming back now. Alright, come on, game, come on. What the hell? Well, that's not gonna help. Alright, so yeah, I might just have to, even though my funds are limited, I might just have to bite the bullet and go looking for a new controller. I couldn't move. What is going on here? What in the world? What is happening here? Okay, I was having such a good run up until Zeal, and then everything just kind of fell apart. Okay, I think we're back on track. No, we're not. Okay, hold on. I don't think I can use this controller. Okay, let me at least switch to the other controller here. Okay, it might have a sensitive D-pad, but at least I know I can use this controller. But yeah, for top-down games, I don't like using this controller just because it's... Okay, so an attack there was actually a 0% chance to dodge. There we go. There we go, and Bowser bombed. Alright, so yeah, that controller has too many issues to use, I think. I don't know what's going on with it. I think the other thing I can do is I can check my Bluetooth receiver and see if there's an issue there. But yeah, whatever the case may be, I'm probably just going to have to either use this controller or find a different controller to use. And I have other wired controllers, but some of them don't work right. Like case in point, one of them had its, like, I accidentally smashed the USB connector like under the wheel of my chair, and because of that, because I have to use a different USB cord with that controller, for whatever reason, like the connection to it keeps coming undone. So I don't know, something is very wrong with the Bluetooth controller I'm using, so probably gonna have to just bite the bullet and get a new controller. I don't know which one I'm gonna look at, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. But that's not for you guys to worry about. We have a much better alternate Bowser run, and even though Zeal gave me problems, and so did my fucking controller, we still managed to win, and we learned a lot about Chaotic Echoes this time around. So, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Do me a favor and like the video, leave a comment, do all the fun YouTube stuff, and I will be back with another video very soon. You guys take care. My name is Dark Sage Wolper. I will be seeing you.